Hey guys! So I just got done recording an amazing video that's going to tag team the Flawless Skin video that I put out. In that last video I talked about all the products that I use to make your skin look flawless. In this video it is basically the application of those products, because you need both sides. You need products, but you also need technique in order to give your skin that flawless look that everybody wants. You know you want it. I have all the products that I use listed below in the description bar, so check those out if you're curious about any of them. Have a great rest of your day enjoying your flawless skin. Mwah! Mwah. Okay, so we are going to start with Makeup Pro Longwear Concealer, and I'm going to put that on my eyelids, underneath my eyes, around my nose, on my chin, pretty much anywhere where you want to prime your skin and make sure that that makeup does not move. So on my eyelids, I'm just kind of spreading it around. I like to use my fingers instead of brushes sometimes, because sometimes brushes leave marks, and especially on your eyelids where it's real sensitive skin, it's really helpful to use your fingertips. This brush is from Sigma, and it is a tapered Kabuki brush, and I love to use it especially around my nose. And if you want to use a brush, it's a great one for under your eyes because it has that taper to it, and so it really fits nicely in that crack. And so you can see, before I even do my cheeks, I have little red marks under my skin, and that is from pregnancy. Love it. And so we are going to start with a 15-hour primer from Benefit, and I'm going to put that on where I want that foundation to stay put. So I'm concentrating it on my cheeks, on my chin, around my nose, anywhere that your makeup tends to wipe off or get red or anything kind of starts to show through your foundation. That's where you're going to want to put your primer. I don't put a ton on my forehead, just a little, just to kind of hold it in place, but mostly on my cheeks. And then we are using True Match LUMI foundation, and I'm using my F80 Kabuki brush from Sigma to just press this into my skin all over. And I'm using a pressing motion instead of a smearing motion so that I get that makeup really pushed into the skin instead of smeared onto the skin. This technique is really helpful if you're using a primer, because we don't want to wipe the primer off. We just want to push the foundation into the primer. This is a little slower way to put your foundation on, but it's going to create a more flawless look, and it'll stay so much better because your coverage will be even because you're pressing it in all over your face instead of having parts that are smeared off and parts that are built up. An easy way to do this is to hold your brush the same way you would hold a microphone, and with that kind of a grip you can't really smear it. Otherwise, if you hold it the way you hold a pencil, you are going to have an easier time smearing it. So when I'm pressing it in, I hold it like a microphone, and when I'm really trying to, you know, get everything all buffed out and, I keep saying schmear. Can't think of another word. But you can see how much better that looks. So before, you have those red dots underneath in there, and after, it just kind of cleans everything up and evens out your skin tone. So we still have to go through and contour. So we're going to start with our highlighting pen. This is from MAC. And I will have all the products listed below in the description bar. We're just going to go underneath and put some dots of the highlighter underneath in there. And you especially want to concentrate it underneath your eyes, on your forehead, down your nose, underneath your nose, and on your chin. So you're basically making like a cross, if you think about it that way. You know, you're going straight down your nose and your lips and your chin, and then you're also doing a horizontal strip underneath your eyes. And then we're going to take our big Kabuki brush, the tapered one from Sigma, and just kind of buff this out. And some parts I'm pressing, some parts I'm really buffing it in. Kind of just depends on how much product you put on there. And then the reason we go down our nose is it helps to highlight that bridge of the nose, the center of the nose, and then when you contour on the sides of the nose, it makes your nose look skinnier, which is always good. And we're going through and just kind of buffing, and underneath my eyes I just kind of press it in. I try not to smudge that too much because we really want it to stay in place. And if you move it then like a brush stroke motion, it's the same as the foundation. It's going to smear it too much and take too much product away. So just go through and basically buff all of those highlighting spots that you put product on. Just buff those in. And then we are going to use a highlighter from Benefit called What's Up. It's just a fun little highlighter stick, and we're going to go over a lot of the same places we just went, and this has just a little shimmer to it, which is just going to help attract your eye and attract the light to make it look like the light is just hitting you in the right spots all the time, all day long. Which, when it comes to having flawless skin, some of it is an illusion. It just looks flawless because of how the light's hitting your face. And that's where highlighting and contouring makes a really big difference. See how that highlights underneath the eye in there? It just really brightens you up. Now we are going to take Hoola from Benefit, and this is a bronzer and a contouring powder. And I'm just taking a big Kabuki brush, one that's going to really help keep it nice and soft. I don't want it to get too harsh of lines. And I am keeping this underneath my cheekbone and just blending it up onto my cheekbone. I don't want it to go too high. And you're concentrating most of it back by your ear and the back of your jawline. You don't want to go too far into your cheek because then it makes your face look too angular and it just looks wrong. It just looks off. So you're just going to follow your hairline now, making that really big 3 shape. And up on your forehead, you don't want to get too much bronzer because then it looks like you have a dirty face. So keep it just to the sides, like right above your eyebrow, and make sure you keep the center of your forehead pretty clear from your bronzer and your contouring powder, because otherwise it just looks like too much. So we're going to get just a little bit under our chin, a little bit under our décolleté, and that's going to help to recede, to help any kind of like a double chin or anything, you know, hanging out down there. It just kind of helps it recede and hide. So now we are going to use our blush, and this is called Intoxicate from Buxom, and I am using a stippling brush. Not everyone uses a stippling brush, but I kind of like it because I can put a little product on, just stipple it on like that, and then I can go through and really buff it out. And you want to kind of do one of those cheesy, corny smiles just to get the apples of your cheeks to kind of pop out so you can see what you're doing. And this blush is basically connecting the highlighting underneath your eye to the contouring. So it's kind of in between. So you don't want it to go too low and you don't want it to go too high. You want it to be just a little bit on the apples of your cheeks and then blended up towards your hairline. Now we are going to take a smaller stippling brush and we are going to set everything with a setting powder. And I'm using Makeup Forever's HD setting powder. And it is amazing because it's sheer, has just a little tiny bit of shimmer to it, but not enough to make your face look like sparkly. So we're going to go through with that setting powder and set everywhere that we want that makeup to stay in place, especially in the T-zone. And for the lips, I'm using an L5 brush from Sigma, and the lipstick I'm using is called Lustering, and it's like a natural, but it has a little bit of a punch to it. I would wear it every day for pretty much anything, and I like to put my lipstick on with a brush just because you can be a little bit more precise, because I'm going to go ahead and set it with the same setting powder that I used on my face, because I find that it really helps keep that in place. And you can even layer over that setting powder on your lips with a gloss, and that'll just help kind of keep everything in place but still give you a little bit of shine. So here is the finished look, and I will list all the products that I used down below in the description bar. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye!